Have you ever stopped to think about those really grand places, the ones that were bustling with life, full of ambition, but now they're just gone. Their stories just sort of fading away.
Mm-hmm. Vanished landmarks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today we're doing a deep dive into one of those, Castle Hall in Milford Haven, Pembrokeshire. It's been demolished for ages, like completely wiped off the map physically.
Right.
But it's history. It's absolutely packed. So many layers.
It really is.
So our mission today really is to try and piece together that whole story. Why was it built in the first place? Who actually built it? What was it like living there, working there?
Yeah, day to day.
And why did it get knocked down in the end? And maybe most intriguingly, what little bits, what echoes can we still find there today?
That's a great way to put it, because even though it's mostly just a memory now, Castle Hall gives us this incredible window into centuries of change, different ambitions, different ideas, different technologies.
Right.
We'll trace it all the way from, this grand Georgian idea through to this almost sprawling Victorian kind of architectural statement.
Uh-huh.
Then that really odd period as an abbey, which we have to talk about.
Definitely.
And finally, how it ended up as, well, a military site. It really shows you these cycles of transformation, how landscapes get reshaped over time.
Okay, so let's dig in. Where does this story really kick off? It starts with a pretty remarkable figure, doesn't it? John Zephaniah Holwell.
Oh, absolutely. He's a character, all right, straight out of a history book.
You might know him, some listeners might, as one of the survivors of the infamous Black Hole of Calcutta back in 1756.
Yeah, a truly horrific event.
But he was also a full surgeon with the East India Company, and later he was chief of police and tax collector in Calcutta. Quite the CV.
It really is. And what's fascinating is that after this incredibly dramatic, extensive career over in India, Holwell, who is also a fellow of the Royal Society, no less, decides to set up this big estate around 1775.
So why there? Why Milford Haven?
Well, the location seems key. He built a belvedere first. That's kind of like an open pavilion designed specifically for the view.
Right, to see the ships and everything.
Exactly. Near the shore, overlooking all the shipping activity, it really signals his intention right from the start. This wasn't just a house. It was going to be a prestigious property. A statement.
Making his mark.
Totally. And he didn't just build the house, he put in the groundwork. An elevated drive, for instance. And around 1780, this series of 4 arches to carry the drive over a little valley.
Oh, okay. Like infrastructure.
Proper engineering. And what's interesting is that later on, 2 of those arches were actually converted into ice houses.
Ice houses, wow. So thinking ahead even then. Self-sufficiency.
Exactly. That blend of, practicality, but also engineered luxury that you expected from a big estate back then.
Okay, so Howell sets the stage. But his vision, it didn't stay his for long, did it?
No. Ownership changed hands fairly quickly. There was Robert Farquhar, then John Warlow, just brief stints.
And then came the guy who really ramped things up, John Benjamin Roch, described as a rich, Quaker oil dealer.
That's him. And if Holwell laid the foundation, Roch, well, he really built the palace on top of it.
Ah.
His time there was all about enlargement and beautification.
How so? What did he actually do?
Well, famously, he turned, and I quote, ugly slopes into pretty terraces. He even created new land in front of the house.
Created new land? How do you even do that?
Sounds like some serious earth moving, right? Really ambitious landscaping. And he added all the bells and whistles of the time, extensive hothouses, conservatories, and other necessary appendages of fashionable luxury and taste.
Okay, so we're talking serious gardening infrastructure, like for show.
Oh, absolutely. Get this. His wife, Eliza Roch, described an orangery that was 80 feet long and 20 feet high, entirely of iron and glass.
80 feet, that's huge.
Yeah.
All iron and glass.
Mostly. The north wall was stone, apparently. But yeah, multi-pitched roof, vents, brick flue heating it, big slate slabs on the floor. State-of-the-art for the time, cutting-edge luxury. And wait, there's more. He had 3 pineries.
Pineries. Like for pine trees.
No, for pineapples.
Pineapples, seriously.
Specialized heated greenhouses just for growing pineapples, which were, incredibly exotic and a massive status symbol back then.
3 of them. Okay, Roch was not messing around. He wanted everyone to know how wealthy and sophisticated he was.
Pretty much.
Well,
and he changed the layout, too. He rerouted Holwell's original drive, made a new grand forecourt on the north side. And that little valley Holwell built the arches over, Roch filled it in, built a big supporting wall behind the arches, just completely reshaping the place.
So Holwell starts it. Roch makes it incredibly luxurious and grand. How do you even top that? What happens next?
Well, Roch's fortunes decline, apparently, and he sold up in 1819. Which brings us to the Greville family. They owned it for nearly 50 years.
Okay, it's a long stretch.
A very long stretch. And it was Colonel Greville, who inherited in 1853, who really took Castle Hall into its most flamboyant phase, described as its most ebullient.
Ebullient. Okay, it sounds like he went all out.
He absolutely did. This is when it got really architecturally mixed. Towers were added, a vast portico. It was a blend of styles. Classical, Romanesque, even hints of Central European church architecture, apparently. All kind of ending up looking like Italian Renaissance.
But of everything, then.
Pretty much. And that north tower was immense, 27 meters high. And it had niches for statues over life-size statues, which were emblematical of the four winds.
Wow. So not just big, but symbolic, too, making a real statement about, power, vision.
Exactly, projecting not just wealth, but this grand, almost imperial vision. And his ambition wasn't just about the house itself. He was deeply involved in trying to develop Milford Haven from Castle Hall.
How so?
Pushing for the railway extension, building piers, gasworks, waterworks, trying to really boost the town, though sadly it seems he overstretched himself. He died in debt in 1867.
Ah. A familiar story with these grand projects sometimes. Did he do much to the grounds like Roch did?
Oh, yes. He enlarged the lake, apparently using militia labor, which is interesting.
Use of the militia.
For landscaping. Seems so.
Wow.
And he created these little Chinese islands in the lake, linked by a wooden bridge. Very picturesque, very fashionable.
Whimsical touch.
Yeah. And there are hints of other things, too. Traces of a big, roofless building, maybe for making wine from grapes. And part of a wall from his writing school still stands.
So Greville's grand era ends in debt. The house sounds incredible by this point, but maybe financially unsustainable. What happens then?
It goes through another period of change, different residents. Samuel Lake, a London building engineer, lived there from 1860. He had huge dreams for Milford Haven, too, wanted it to be a transatlantic titan, the new Liverpool.
Big dreams.
Huge. He renovated the hall, even brought electricity to the town. But like Greville, he seems to have hit financial problems.
Seems like a pattern. Who else?
After Lake, it was leased out. A Rev Brigstock, a Mr. Oswald. Yeah. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Such a massive place. How do you keep it going?
Yeah, the upkeep must have been enormous.
Exactly. Which leads us to probably the most, unexpected chapter in Castle Hall's life.
The nuns.
The Benedictine nuns, yes. They leased it from 1910 to 1917 and renamed it St. Bride's Abbey.
St. Bride's Abbey. And what do they think of this architectural mix-and-match mansion?
Well, the abbess, Scholastic Ewart, was famously not impressed. She called the hall, and I quote, exceedingly ugly, what one might call very debased Italian architecture.
Ouch. Debased Italian. She didn't mince her words.
Not at all. But despite thinking it was ugly, they did make changes, alterations inside and out, knocked down a partition wall, converted the stable block for more accommodation.
Practical changes, then, making it work as an abbey.
And they used one of the terraces, maybe one of Roch's, as a market garden, which kind of connects back to that idea of the estate needing to function, to produce things.
Right. People had to live and work there. We heard from a listener, didn't we, about their great-grandfather?
Yes. Said his great-grandfather worked for the nuns as a gardener, lived at Blackbridge Cottage. It's those little personal stories that really bring it to life, thinking about the people maintaining those grounds, the glass houses, the pineries from Roch's time.
Absolutely. Imagine the work involved. And the nuns' departure. That wasn't straightforward either, was it? There was some hoo-ha.
That's putting it mildly. Their departure in 1917 was surrounded by controversy. Accusations, apparently, of possible German collaboration.
German collaboration.
Yeah.
During World War I. That's serious.
Very serious. It's a really stark reminder of the wartime paranoia, the suspicion that was around, how even a group of nuns could get caught up in that.
Wow. And didn't their stay also lead to a ghost story?
Ah, yes, the unhappy nun. Local legend has it she was seen, sometimes in the billiard room, which the nuns apparently used as their chapel,
Okay.
and sometimes down by the lake, searching for her adopted child.
A ghost story adds a whole different layer, doesn't it? Was that a well-known story at the time?
It seems more like one of those local tales that grows over time, especially after a group leaves under controversial circumstances. It becomes part of the place's folklore, particularly when the building itself eventually vanishes. Adds to the mystique.
So, after the nuns leave, amidst controversy and ghost stories, what's the final chapter for the building itself?
Well, Sir Hugh Thomas, a big Welsh landowner, bought it. He even added a tennis court, apparently trying to keep it going as a grand residence.
Okay, a brief return to its former life.
Seems like it was brief. The place stood empty from 1925 through to the mid-1930s.
Empty for a decade. That can't have been good for it.
Oh, large, empty houses tend to deteriorate quickly, and its end was pretty abrupt. It came in 1939, though. One account says maybe just before 1938.
And what happened? Why then?
It was demolished, pulled down by the Royal Naval Armaments Depot, the RNAD.
The Navy, why?
They needed the land, specifically for road access to the nearby mine depot. So after all that history, all that architecture, it was cleared for a road.
Wow. A very practical, almost, yeah, clinical end for such a storied place.
It really was. Ambition, luxury, controversy, all swept aside for military logistics. So it's long demolished, as we said. But you hinted there are still traces. What can you actually find there today? It seems hard to believe anything significant would be left.
You'd be surprised. While the main house is gone, yeah, replaced by a pretty functional modern building, mod officers' quarters on part of the original site.
Right.
There are actually quite a few features still dotted around that really tell the story. They're like clues to each era.
Okay, like what can you see?
Well, Holwell's original arches, those ones that carried the drive, they're still there, covered in ivy now. Very picturesque, a real reminder of that first vision.
The ice house arches?
Those two. Two of them at least. And you can see traces of Roch's ambition. Bits of the terrace gardens, a stucco pillar, even broken bits of an urn. And the stone footings of those massive glass houses are still visible.
The orangery and pineries.
Possibly, or
Yeah.
other parts of the expensive glass houses. You can almost picture the scale. And the stable block and workshops are still standing too.
What do they tell us? They show signs of their 19th century origins. Lots of alterations over time. Details were recorded, like a 5-stall stable, a fruit room, fitted up with shelves and trays. It gives you a sense of the practical side, how these places actually ran.
The engine room of the estate, almost.
Exactly. And Greville's impact is there too. The lake he enlarged is still there. You can see the shape of it. And maybe traces of those Chinese islands.
And trees, you mentioned trees.
Yes. Some original trees survived, like a weeping ash and a tulip tree. Maybe planted by Roch, tulip trees are North American, perhaps a reminder of home for his family.
Oh, that's a nice thought. Anything else?
There's that building people think was an orchid house or maybe a fernery. It has this really extraordinary classical doorway still there. And even some of the paths, the ones edged with these curiously constructed slabs, might have been kept and reused by the mod. Little bits of the past absorbed into the present.
It's incredible, really, all these fragments left behind.
It is. Holwell's arches, Roch's terraces, and glasshouse footings, Greville's lake, the stables, even the trees. They're like tangible echoes.
What a journey we've been on. Tracing Castle Hall from, that initial Georgian vision through Victorian splendor, the Abbey period, right up to its demolition and these lingering traces.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? Looking at the bigger picture, Castle Hall isn't just about one demolished house. It's like a case study in how places change. Ambition, money, fashion, war, practicality. It all leaves a mark.
Yeah.
And it poses that question, looking around us now, what buildings, what structures that seem so permanent today might just be fragmented memories and maybe a ghost story in 100 years, just waiting for someone else to do a deep dive and piece their story back together.
Exactly. It really does make you wonder about the hidden histories all around us, just waiting to be uncovered.